VigilanteWilliamson here with a very simple, topic to talk about. It's not necessarily a question. This video is in regarding to a video or videos that I see a lot of, different versions of. I'm 30, I don't have a job, I don't have a girlfriend. They're mostly by men, but you'll even see I'm 30, don't have kids, no relationship from a woman. There's a lot of factors, but it's basically people, and to various degrees. I'm sure you've come across these videos, maybe thought of making one yourself or feel similarly because of just how dark the outlook can be in the world right now. It's a very dark place to be when you think about it, mainly regarding the job prospects and the economic prospects and the relationship prospects. Those two situations seems to be the focus of many, if not most, of these videos, and to be what generates the most emotion. I'm a 35-year-old person, and I've never had a meaningful relationship, and I don't have meaningful employment. And I'm here to say, as much as I get accused of being black-pilled, now's not the time to be black-pilled or to be pessimistic. Doesn't mean you shouldn't be realistic. Doesn't mean you shouldn't factor in everything that's going on, but it does mean don't pile in or don't pile on to yourself. Give yourself some space, give yourself some credit. It is not the end of the world to not have a relationship by a certain age. It's not the end of the world to not have the best job prospects by a certain age. In fact, I don't want to totally pamper you because this is not for victims and victimhood, but it's not all your fault. We know society is falling apart. We know the economic prospects are falling apart. So now's not the time to, oh man, I don't have this, I don't have that. Who gave you permission to hate yourself? People want permission to hate themselves now. This black pill thing, oh, I'm a black pill, I'm an incel. No, you're not. No, you're not. Stop calling yourself that. Don't ever call yourself an incel. Ever. I know I just recently on stream made a joke, which, to some extent has some reality, that men and women now are just incels and side chicks, right? In a mass level, in a macro level. I may even release that clip from the stream. But you as an individual, don't call yourself that. Don't demean yourself. Who said you need to hold yourself to some societal standard? Society is broken. Society is inherently broken. And not only is it inherently broken, the whole point of society at this point is to break people. So the assumption of function in society is misguided. Society is dysfunctional. Therefore, it cannot be trusted and used as a reliable gauge in how you should view yourself. We used to recognize people's intrinsic value outside of superficial value. And I get in the social media age that becomes more and more difficult to do. But we used to recognize people have value. I mean, let's take one case study or one case out of it. Let's say you're a young man between the ages of 25, 35, haven't had a relationship. Does that make you a bad person? Are you a worse person than the guy who's a super spreader of STDs? Because these guys exist, right? We know that, and I've talked about it in other videos, most women gravitate to a small pool of men. So if you're a member of that small pool of men, are you a morally superior guy to somebody who may be a good person but just doesn't have the best luck with women, or doesn't, have the best game, not the most attractive, not the most skilled when it comes to women? Are you a better person? Are you really the alpha? I mean, why? because you can give a bunch of women STDs, and no, that's not something to be to behold and to be impressed by. Is Andrew Tate better than you? What color is your Bugatti? And I'm not saying Andrew Tate has nothing positive to say, but this is a guy who admitted to impersonating women for money. Is that alpha? Is that alpha? This guy also admitted, listen, I already made videos last year about his charges, and I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what's going to happen. But he admitted to taking on women in his little, whatever you want to call it, that were underage. Is he better morally than you?
Vivian's been with me 6 years. She's completely head over heels in love with me. She wants kids with me, everything. Vivian's younger. Melissa's like 28, Vivian's like 21. Vivian's been with me 6 years. Vivian's like 21.
Oh, man, no, man. What the hell? Oh, my God, no way.
Just because you don't have a girlfriend? Really? That's why I put him in the thumbnail. A lot of people like this guy. A lot of people like these alpha red pill motherfuckers, right? Are they better than you? Because they give out STDs and bad advice? Because they cloud a bunch of OnlyFans women? Are they better than you? Like, what? That makes no sense. Your value is not based on all this superficial stuff. Your value is not how many followers you have on Instagram. Your value is not how many women you've been with. Your value is not even having a girlfriend or not. I know, back when I was younger and I would say something or do something to my parents, they would say, oh, yeah, when you have kids, you'll understand. And, of course, I don't have kids. And I won't have kids, right? Because it was taken for granted that somebody would marry you, somebody would date you, because we were in a less superficial time going back. You go back to their era and back. And we're not in that time anymore. It's not taken for granted that you'll have a kid or that you'll be a parent. And so don't take it for granted. Don't assume that you're just missing out on something you should have. See, that's what a lot of those videos come to me. I get, man, we are in a fucked up place. And it ain't your fault that the economy crashed. It ain't your fault that a pandemic happened. It ain't your fault there's a World Economic Forum, which maybe Klaus just stepped down for him. That's another can of worms. It ain't your fault that all these powers that be that are preying on the downfall of Western society. But it seems to me, by watching a lot of these videos, it's a bunch of people using a broken societal standard who are trying to use it to give themselves permission to hate themselves. And we're all going to go through some dark times in this world. We're all going to have to deal with it, and it may be on a daily thing. But you don't have permission to hate yourself, man. You don't have the permission to devalue yourself just because you may not be the most socially adept person. You don't have that permission, man. Not from me, not from life. You do have permission to feel down for a while just so you can pick yourself up. Why do we fall, Bruce? So we can pick ourselves up. That's the main lesson from Batman Begins. That and the pipes are going to blow, which that's an inside joke. But seriously, we fall to pick ourselves back up. It's okay to pick yourself back up. It's okay to be down. It's okay to not have everything society says you should have. It's okay to do the simple things. It's okay to appreciate the simple things. It's okay to be appreciative that you woke up today, because a lot of people didn't. It's okay to be appreciative of having a job, even if it's not the best job. It's okay to just drive an Uber and maybe, you know what, you got to live with family. It's okay. It's okay, man. You don't have the right to hate yourself or bash yourself or tell yourself you're a loser or an incel or whatever new term comes out that says that you're less valuable to some asshole that you don't know, because we all do this grass is greener on the other side. Everybody's ice is colder. There was a song I think even called Everybody's Having More Sex Than Me. I probably messed up the melody and the lyrics. I just remember his old 80s or 70s song talking about everyone's having more sex than me. It's that comparative mindset that gets a lot of people down. And don't get me wrong, you know, a lot of people are down, right? But if you're not homeless, and some people are. Some people are living in their car. Even if you are, man, if you're living in your car, doing a van life thing by necessity, I understand it, it's a struggle. Doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. This time can pass. I know it looks bleak, but there's something to be said about just keep going. Just keep swimming. There's something to be said about finding an intrinsic way of valuing yourself and not letting the superficial society standards or anything else, not letting social media determine your value or knock you off of how you value yourself. I do have some social media for this channel, but I'm infamously hard to reach because I don't like social media. I've never, ever since its inception, ever since the MySpace Black Planet era, because I am that old, I never liked social media. I never did. So I've been off of it as myself since 2014. So that's 10 years now. I just realized. And then, the past 4 years, for VigilanteWilliamson, I had social media. I don't have a Twitter. I don't have a Facebook. Just the Instagram and the TikTok. That's it. And I barely check them. And I probably should check them more for growth and all that other good stuff. But I probably will at one point. But I'm not going to let it mind fuck me, for lack of a better term. And a lot of people are letting social media mind screw them. And that doesn't mean that if you are in a situation where you're working a menial job, you're living at home, and you don't necessarily have life where you want it, doesn't mean you give up. But it does mean that you don't hate yourself for it. Be blessed with that. I'm happy to have a job. Is it the best job ever? No. Is it the worst job ever? No. Be happy and appreciative to have a job. Not everybody does. There are people homeless, man. There are people on the street, drugged out. And if I see someone in a house, and maybe it's their parents' house, and they say, oh, man, I'm 27. I've never had a girlfriend. I don't have a job. It's not the end of the world, man. And I'm not trying to dismay. Like, I haven't been there. I mean, I don't have a girlfriend now. I probably won't. But not having a girlfriend doesn't mean you're not valuable to society, or fuck society. Not having a girlfriend doesn't mean you're not valuable intrinsically. You have value. You have worth. Not having a boyfriend, to the women, I haven't really talked too much on those issues that may be more pertinent to women. Not having a boyfriend, not having a husband doesn't mean you don't have value. Not having the best job, not having all the superficial things doesn't mean you don't have value. You have an intrinsic value. And it's your job to see that. It's your job to see that and express that. You don't necessarily need validation from someone else for your value to matter. And I think that's something our society has gotten, again, it's toxic, it's destructive, it's gotten way off track. So it's leading a lot of people astray. It's leading a lot of people to think, if I am not superficially and artificially accepted, then I must be of lower worth. If I don't have these things, I must be of lower worth. If tomorrow, because I know a lot of people apply to hundreds and hundreds of jobs. If tomorrow some big tech job gave you a chance and gave you a $100,000 salary, and a pretty lady talked to you, you all of a sudden have more value when yesterday you were just working at 7-Eleven, living at your mom's house, but now today you have more value just because of other people's validation. That doesn't make sense to me. That's not how it works. But what do you think? I've seen a lot of these videos. I'm 35, I'm 25, I'm this. I don't have a friend. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a social life. Black pill, incel, this, that, and the third. I don't agree with it, man. Don't give yourself permission to hate yourself. And the grass ain't always greener on the other side. There's some real fucked up people. I didn't really get too hard to take, even though I may put him in the thumbnail. But he's a really fucked up person. Even if you think he says some things that may be impressive, some things he says are valuable. One of the quotes I do like from him is, "You're the only one who can fix this. You're the only one who can mess this up." And there's truth in that. But this is a guy who rents a lot of his cars, believe it or not. He's asking, what color is your Bugatti? The color of his Bugatti is whatever the rental place allows it to be that day. And this is a guy who, even if you don't think what he did is illegal, which in some cases it probably was, very unscrupulous. I mean, how alpha male is it to impersonate women? For the purposes of getting men to masturbate and give you money. That's alpha male? No, that's gay for pay. But if that's what you guys want to worship, and that's the guy, I'm not him, so I'm not valuable, I can't stop you. And I get, before I close out this video completely, that there is a gap in between of, I'm a 35-year-old loser and I value Andrew Tate. Those two things don't necessarily have to be the same case. And again, you're not a loser. You are not a loser. Shout out to Adrian and Rocky. You're not a loser. You're not a loser just because you don't have superficial things. You don't have permission to hate yourself just because you don't have these superficial things. It's okay if you're living a simple life. One more quote, 50 Cent said, some people know how to live a good life even without everything. And on that, I'm going to end this video. So, what do you think about what I said? Please put it in the comments. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do that. Even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night and God bless. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.